Hello, I'm Rick Worland. I'm a professor here in the Meadows School of the Arts, and I do film history.
I'm Bryan Stone, and I'm the Dean of Perkins School of Theology.
And we are meeting today in the basement of the Greer Garson Theater at SMU, where the film vault, the climate control film vault for the G. William Jones Film and Video Collection, has been housed since this building was erected in 1991. And this is a great location to be talking about movie history.
So one of the things I like about horror films the most is how they reflect the deepest cultural, religious anxieties and fears of a people at that place and time. And the Universal era is so different from today's in many ways, precisely because what people feared was different. They feared the outsider, that which is exotic, that which is foreign, the dangers of science at that time. Nuclear wasn't even there yet, but in the 50s we'll get there. But today, so whereas horror was out there, what to be feared is out there, the other, in castles and laboratories, now it's more invasive and it's in here. And the subjects have changed too. I mean, body horror is more important now. Fear of technology and surveillance is bigger.
And it's very clear that a lot of people simply do not like horror films. They just do not, and cannot be cajoled into, just give it a chance. But I think there's also a kind of attraction and repulsion around horror films, and we want to see things that we know are going to be uncomfortable. We want to see essentially confront things that our rational minds say we should not want to do. In the case of The Exorcist, William Peter Blatty, he was always been a quite devout Catholic, and he did in fact write the book, he is said, to inspire faith, because if there's the devil, then there must be God.
It made horror much more invasive, much more graphic, and you just don't get away from those images. And it was horrifying for people who first saw it. So I think it's really about, got very Catholic sensibilities about suffering through the body is redemption, and redemption happens through that.
The Exorcist is already one of the highest-grossing films in the history of motion pictures. Why does a film reviewed by national critics as terrifying, horrible, half-successful, draw throngs of people to its ticket office? We checked with Dallas theatergoers to find out.
Well, so many people have been fainting, I figured it must be a pretty good movie. You wanted to come and see it.
It was horrible. I never seen anything gross like that in my life. I had my fingers up into my ear about that far, and I just couldn't take it.
That's pretty weird. It's pretty weird.
Are you glad you saw it?
Yeah, I was glad I saw it, but I don't think I'll come back. Yeah, that's really good. He would. They enjoyed it. I hated it. But it was the best, worst movie I ever saw.
I really liked how in this piece, which is I think this is a great little valuable piece of film that I would use maybe for teaching this film, because so rarely do we ever get an actual immediate reaction from the people who walked out of a movie.
What strikes me about it is of course it's the visceralness of the horror, but it was set in such great mood. The music was amazing. It just had great atmosphere.
This was a phenomenal movie in the sense that it's a movie that people really had to see.
My students consistently think that of all the film genres, horror is the least amenable to religious sensibilities. But I think it is very, not just because it travels along some of the same themes, but because it exposes us to the beyond, whether that's the metaphysical beyond or the psychological beyond. It just opens us up to what is really going on underneath.
I'm always really interested in making students aware of how these effects are being created, how the most skilled filmmakers are manipulating the techniques. They're using sound and imagery and visual style and editing and all these elements to create a very unique experience in telling this story. One of the common phrases that students will use about all kinds of things, I'll clean it up, is to say, well, this is really messed up. This is really messed up, but it's not random, and it's not doing this just for the sake of being messed up. And how we got to this, how they made this gripping, memorable, perhaps unforgettable, can sort of be can be broken down and we can understand how it was done and why it works so well.
I would ask that people look at horror beyond sort of the superficial, the symbolic, and really try to understand what's going on in culture that's rising up on the screen.